Oh yeah. There we go. How good is that? In 2024, the TaylorMade Qi10 driver was one of the best drivers of the year. Now we move forward to the TaylorMade Qi35 driver. Could this be the best driver of 2025? Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Guys, if you want to see the latest driver reviews, make sure you do hit that subscribe button below. But today we're talking Qi35. Now, Qi35 is made up of a blend of lots of different materials. It's made of chromium carbon, steel, aluminium, tungsten, and titanium. I'm going to have to read that off the board. There's so many materials going into this driver, it is ridiculous. So we're going to kick things off. We've got 5 heads here in the new range. I'll talk you through all of them. This is, of course, the max head. So this is the 10K head. Oh, no, it's not. That's the standard version. Sorry, Bobby. This one. No, that's the LS. What kind of ship are you running here, Bobby? Honestly, I don't know what's going on here. It's this one. So you can see we've got a little nod to the 10K per centimetre squared there. Now this is the most forgiving head that TaylorMade do make. We also have a max light head as well, which I don't have, but that's designed obviously to help you get the ball airborne for like senior golfers and people who have a little bit of a slower swing speed. Now we're going to kick things off with the max version because I was lucky enough to go and get fitted for one of these Qi35 drivers just a couple of weeks ago, and I was amazed as to how they all performed pretty well. So you can't just go in thinking, I want the LS, I want the Max, I want the Max Lite. You have to test them all to see exactly which one works for you. So you can see straight away the story of these drivers. It's a big change from that blue face of the Qi10 and of course the red carbon face from the Stealth and Stealth 2, but it is still carbon. So for anyone wondering, that is still a carbon face. It does still feature twist face, and it does feature a little bit more kind of technology in there, which we will delve into. But to kick things off, let's just hit some with this max head. Now the max head does look quite elongated, does look quite big, but for me I don't mind that because I honestly think if you're in the market for a nice forgiving driver, that's the ball flight you want. That one right there, I actually cut across that one and it felt like I cut across it quite a lot. You can see the ball flight was pretty straight. It was a nice centered strike, but that's exactly the ball flight you're going to want if you're going into the TaylorMade Qi35 Max driver. Now, how much better can this be than the Qi10? And also, we all know that Qi10 stood for 10K inertia. What on earth does 35 stand for? Stay tuned and find out. Now, in the past, a lot of driver companies have always been trying to search for forgiveness or search for low spin, search for that performance. Now, essentially here, what TaylorMade are trying to do is generate both of those things in one driver for you. So if you look at a chart of potentially where a forgiving driver would be and where a low spin driver would be, TaylorMade are trying to get those as close together so you're covering all bases with your one driver. Now the thought of being able to do that is quite ridiculous. It's like having an F1 car that can go off-road but flies. I mean, if you can do that, then hats off to you. Maybe Red Bull could, but I'm not sure about anybody else. Red Bull, McLaren, would they do it? Ferrari? It's a Ferrari, would they do it? Lewis, Matt, you're a Lewis fan, aren't you? Anyway, sorry. So you can see here we have a huge aerodynamic inertia generator here. That does feature a big weighting in the back there as well. There's no movable weights on this Max model, but it does still feature that speed pocket to enhance ball speeds on low face hits. And we have the 4th generation, clean that off a little bit, 4th generation carbon face. So this I think looks a lot better. I do like the black. And in one of the heads, I'll talk through exactly what's different in it because the face does look different. It does. And Bobby, you don't know what looks different, do you, Rob? You have no idea. But it's actually a quite nice visual aid. And essentially, that for me being the forgiving head, I'm amazed by that. I didn't think that would be as enjoyable to hit. I thought it would be as easy to hit, but I didn't necessarily think I would be thinking, oh my God, I need this in my life. Kind of going that way. So as you can see, a fairway littered with golf balls, pretty impressive dispersion left to right, front to back dispersion. There are a few that have gone a little bit further than others. We're not just testing the TaylorMade today, we're of course testing a few other drivers as well that are already out. So if you want to see a full comparison video as well, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and throw a like on this video. This year, I'm saying that, we're in 2024 at the moment, the video will be out in 2025. I really want to get to 300,000 subscribers. I would love each and every one of you guys to be a part of that. Let's get to the next tee and talk core model driver. So when we talk core head for this Qi35 model, it still features that multi-material technology. We still have carbon, aluminium, titanium, tungsten. Have I got them all? I think I've got them all. And we feature movable weights in here in this standard head. So you can see a 3-gram movable weight in the front here and a 13 movable weight there at the back. So that's actually something which I think is really, really good from TaylorMade. What I like about it is it still looks very similar to the Qi10 Max head shape as well. So on screen now you'll see this head still looks big, still looks forgiving, still looks like it's going to give you that 10k inertia. But the idea behind this standard Qi35 head is it features a very low CG projection while still featuring incredible MOI. So it's kind of that nice middle ground of the flying amphibious car, Bob, isn't it?
Watch this.
That everyone wants to see. Now, I really like the look of this head. I think a lot of people who do like the core product in the past may think it looks a little bit bigger, may think it looks a little bit on the kind of hefty side, but don't we all after Christmas? But essentially, that's why the LS model might be for you, which we'll get to on the next tee. But for now, I really think this one looks fantastic. And I also think you'll see a lot of the kind of TaylorMade tour players in this head moving forward in 2025. That sounded gorgeous, didn't it? So that one's a little bit cutty. It's down the right hand side of the fairway, but it's still in the fairway. And it was a nice kind of low flight as well. It didn't balloon up. It wasn't a really high kind of high spin shot, which is where this mega low CG can potentially be a game changer for TaylorMade whilst featuring that high NOI. Because who doesn't want forgiveness and low spin? Bobby put his hand up, but his hand's in his pocket because he's cold. So it's quite breezy on this tee as well, and having that low CG projection is a big help for that. How good is that? To be able to have that ball flight, that kind of low piercing cutty ball flight with the core head, because these are 10.5 degree as well. I've set it ever so slightly lower. We still have the adjustable hosel in this driver, but essentially I think it's really nice and simple. Not like some of the, we'll not say it. So really, that's the story behind the core head, and I think having those movable weights is a huge coup for TaylorMade in the core head, the standard head. Will the likes of Rory McIlroy be using this head in 2025? Because Bobby tells me he has been using the core head just like him this year. He's your hero, Bobby. Oh, you're his hero. Wow. Right, come on. Let's try and get a little bit more of a straighter one this time. A little bit of a higher launch as well. There we go. That really is a fantastic feeling, fantastic sounding driver, and the ball flights have all done pretty much what I want them to do. It has gone miles, hasn't it? And I'm not a core head kind of guy. The kind of head that I like is this one. And if we have a look at all the heads together, you'll see exactly what I mean by this. You come and give us this view around here, Bobby, because that's the kind of shelf appeal you're going to be seeing. Now, the LS head, I have been out and played with it already. I was very, very impressed. It does look totally different down at the ball, so we're going to cover this one next. But I think it's a really nice lineup from TaylorMade. Obviously, you would have the light head as well, the max head, but also you would have the fitting head, which does feature these kind of filled in here. So these 6 movements here. So that's designed to be caught more on GC Quad and TrackMan to help with fitting data so you can get the optimum fitting possible. It actually looks really good as well. If I was going to get one of these, I'd get one with those chevrons covered so you can kind of help with alignment just a little bit more as well. Right, so the first 3 shots we've hit there with the core Qi35 driver, 2 in the fairway. I think the high one, so the latter one, has gone furthest because it's just going to have carried further. It's wind here in the UK and the ball doesn't roll as much. The first one has actually done really well for distance. It's up there with the second shot we hit. It's just run into the rough, but I don't particularly mind that too much. 3 really good feeling drives. I certainly felt like I cut across the first one a little bit more, but it hasn't affected it too much for distance because it does have that mega low CG projection whilst having plenty of MOI. Not quite 10k MOI, just like the max version has, but near enough so you're not going to feel too much of a difference and get that forgiveness just like that one. Okay, TaylorMade Qi35. Let's do this. Right, as first drives go, that felt really good. 265, 280. And you know what? I always think when you are testing a new driver, you do want to kind of edge your way in a little bit. So this is a standard Qi35, the Halo model, the Hero model, the main model. I almost worked my way into the low spin model to see if it could maybe potentially work. But that, spinning at 2000 already. There's another one. Look at this. Now, I have tested this before when I went and got fitted down at TaylorMade pre-embargo. And I was impressed with it then. Carry doesn't seem to be amazing, but 285 total for me. I'll check out at that all day. Oh, that's the first one we've really gone after, that's left. The head does look nice, big and forgiving. You can see if you look at the sole of it, it's designed just to kind of shift weight around to make it more forgiving. There's not a lot that can forgive that though, unfortunately. I do like the shape of the head. They have kept that kind of QI10 Max ideology. That's the one that I think is safe as houses. So it's a touch high on spin, but it's still carrying decent distance. It's still running up past 280. I don't feel like I'm overly trying to hit that too hard. This is where I think the TaylorMade can potentially come into its own a little bit, where you're not necessarily trying to smash it. And that's just frighteningly good. Is that gonna go on? Go on. 290. I feel like we're properly warming up with this. That black face as well. I love the look of this black face. Obviously, on the fitting version, you do see more of those chevrons, as it were. And you see, that's the one where I feel like maybe the spin's a touch high. 3.2, so it's dropped quite a lot in distance. It's still a 260 odd carry, it's still 280 total. But I honestly feel like maybe the LS could help with that. Let's hit a couple more, then we'll jump into the LS. I'm a big fan of this though. It's a nice movement on. Nothing's going to beat that. That is, or is it? Go, yeah, go on, go on, go. 300's the target. 300's the target. Let's have a look at this bad boy. Love the shape of this head. That's the one I wanted to hit with the standard version. And you can see it has carried that big further, and it has not got to 298.8. But they're the numbers I want. 2000 spin, 275 carry. Ideally releasing up to that magical number. And that's the one where you wonder why you would use the LS if you still hit that shot. The shot that still spins up to kind of 3000. That could be the best one we've hit. Like I kept my balance lovely there. That's it's still not going to be 300, 298.5. So the driver that I've been most looking forward to testing, that might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing, it might work for me, it might not, is the TaylorMade Qi35 LS driver. This for me looks absolutely gorgeous. It features a flight adjustment system, so you can see we have 3 different weightings here. We have a draw setting, a fade setting, which mine is set into. I was actually fitted for this driver down at TaylorMade, and these are the settings I ended up with. So you can see we have 2 3-gram weights and a 13-gram weight. We still feature the speed pocket on the sole. We still feature all that nice carbon goodness, and we still feature that lovely, what colour would you say the crown is, Bob? It's like a
space grey.
Space grey, very Apple of you. You're very millennial, aren't you? We can tell. So we have a lovely, like this head just looks fantastic. It looks really small, Really nice and players-like, you could say. Now this isn't going to feature as much forgiveness, but it does still feature more MOI than previous low spin drives. It actually features a similar MOI to core models of the past, so you do get more forgiveness if you're on the LS head, and of course it's the lowest CG projection in the lineup. Wish me luck, Bob, because this is the one. I actually have played with this already and played quite well with it. Chris hit some bombs at Lindrick with it as well when we did play. That comes off a lot deader. It sounds a lot deader. That's coming out with mega low spin, fading down the middle of the fairway. It felt quite nice. Did cut across that a little bit, so I'll be interested to see just what did happen with spin rate and ball speed there. Interesting that we're into the wind now, and this is the first real hole we have been into the wind. I feel like this head does help that. Oh yeah. That is phenomenal. That ball flight just over that corner there. So here you want to try and just carry that bunker a little bit. I've got this head in 10.5, but because we have that 4-degree adjustable loft sleeve, you can see I've got it set slightly lower. So it's set at like 10. That really kind of sets a nice lie angle for me. It really sets it up to be a nice performing head. I'm really pleased with that. Because I've hit a pretty bad one, to be honest, that's performed pretty well. And then I've hit a really good one. I want to see the difference in those as well, getting up there, because if there's not a lot of difference in them both, this could be performing a little bit like the Paradigm Triple Diamond, which for me was a fantastic club last year. Who wants to see us compare Callaway and TaylorMade, by the way? Can't wait to do that. And that's just a little bit low left. Is it safe? It is. Let's get down there and see exactly where they've finished and potentially how much difference you get between the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, that's just me. It's Christmas.
And so to quickly summarise, I do honestly feel like the range of Qi35 drivers could well be a massive move up from the Qi10. I would love to say that I think I could game the Qi35 LS, but I do honestly think that the standard version works really, really well for me. Even though some of the longer drives I was hitting were with the LS model, I feel like I still need that forgiveness of the core head. But I'm going to leave you with some of these impact sounds because it does sound phenomenal. It's a good line. Yeah.